Welcome to Country Cookin'. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making Grünberger Schnitzel Nifla, poor man's filet mignon, and St. Louis gooey butter cake. So we're going to start with the poor man's filet mignon because that's going to take the longest. So we're starting out with 1 pound of lean ground beef, and I have crumbled 2 slices of bread for breadcrumbs. We've got 1 egg, 1/4 cup of milk, teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder, and let's see, here's my minced onion, 1/2 tablespoon of minced onion. Now the dish that we're going to be making, the Grünberger Schnitzel Nifla, is a dish that's been passed down in my family, and you probably have made something similar or remember something similar. My grandmother was actually from the Leola area, and it was something that she passed down to my mom, and when all my brothers and sisters come home, that's the most requested dish that we have. So I thought, it's still chilly outside, and it's kind of one of those nice cold winter evening suppers. So we're pretty well mixed here. Now I'm going to pat this out into 6 patties. And then we're going to wrap them with a slice of bacon and skewer that on. And another good side dish with this would be actually fry sausage. So, but I just thought everybody knows how to make fry sausage. I thought it might be fun to do something a little bit different. Try to even them out as much as possible. Okay. Now we're going to take a slice of bacon and wrap it around and skewer it. I'm using good quality bacon that holds together well and makes a nice frame around your patty. Okay, shape them just a little bit. Then they're going to go in the oven at 350. I preheated the oven. We're going to put them in for about 50 minutes to an hour, just depending on how hot your oven cooks. And then we're going to get started on the Grünberger Schnitzel Nifla. I've got potatoes here that I have peeled and cubed, and they're ready to go here. And we start with a kettle of water. You fill it about halfway and bring it to a boil. And then we're going to throw our potatoes in. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Valley Cellular has a simple shared plan. Pick any size to fit your needs. It's that simple. You get 3 months free access on all lines. Stop in our office or call us today at 437-2615 for more information.
Okay, we're going to baste our filet mignons with a little bit of barbecue sauce. I'm using the Old West. You want to use something that has a smoke flavor in, and this definitely does. So we're going to baste them a little bit. Just take a minute here. Now my water has come to a boil, so I'm going to add a half tablespoon of salt. And then we're going to put our potatoes in. Okay. And we'll let those start to soften up. We're going to start on the St. Louis gooey butter cake. To start out with, I have a 1/3 cup of butter and a cup of flour, and we're going to use a pastry blender, and also add 3 tablespoons of sugar. And we want to make it look just like pie crust crumbles. This is a tradition in St. Louis. If you ever visit St. Louis, no doubt you will come across it in a restaurant somewhere. The legend has it that in the 1800s there was a very thrifty old German baker, and he made a mistake in a recipe, and he made a mistake with his ingredients, and rather than throw it out, he went ahead and served it, and everyone loved it. It kind of sinks a little bit in the middle, but it's a very good dessert and popular one you'll find in that area. I've got an 8x8 pan. You don't need to grease it because you've got the butter in the base here. You want to just kind of pat it down and up the sides a little bit. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, now we'll start with the filling. Together we're going to cream 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar and 3/4 cup of butter. Get a spatula. Price of butter these days, we want to get every drop. Remember, all these recipes can be found on the Valley website. If you don't have internet, give the girls a call and they'll be happy to get the recipe to you. We'll cream this together. And then we'll add 1 egg. Okay, now we're going to alternate 1 cup of flour with 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. So I'm going to add a little bit of flour, start blending that in, and then we'll add a little bit of the evaporated milk. nice and fluffy. So now to this, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of light Caro syrup, corn syrup. I use Caro. And a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using Watkins clear vanilla because I don't want to add any dark color to that. That's 1 teaspoon. Now we're going to pour this right over the top of our crust. Spread it out all the way to the sides. Now the recipe tells us to sprinkle it at this time with powdered sugar. I have a sugar shaker. You can buy these anywhere. If you don't have one, they really work out well, and then they usually come with a lid so you can just keep it in your cupboard, and when you need it, you've got it. But it tells you to sprinkle it with powdered sugar now. Some of it will bake in, so after it's done, I always give it another dose. So it's going to look like this. We're going to wait just a few minutes till our meat is done before we put it in. I don't want to have the meat cooking at the same time as the cake, but we'll be right back.
It's a sweet deal. Sign up for broadband high-speed internet and get an Apple iPad mini for only $50. Plus, get free installation. Call Valley today at 437-2615 to take advantage of this sweet deal.
So, okay, we're going to baste the filet mignons again with some barbecue sauce. Okay. They're just about ready, so we're going to get some of the other things going. Pop the cake in. And we're going to start making our nifla. So we've started out with our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and we take a beaten egg. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of water to that and kind of blend that together. Pour it in. I'm just going to get my hands in here and really work this around. Okay. So your dough will look like this. It doesn't have to be smooth, or it doesn't have to be worked at all. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the kettle of water, and we're going to drop it in by little mounds like this. We're dropping it into the boiling water. The mouths don't have to be very big because they will increase in size quite a bit. Potatoes are just about half done. And as the dough is added, then it's going to start making a little bit of a creamy substance in there. We'll take a little break while I finish this up and we'll be right back.
Valley Telecommunications is pleased to announce that our Technology Solutions Center is fully stocked and open for business. We have a large selection to meet your wants and needs. Some of the items we currently carry are a variety of corded and cordless phones, different brands of tablets such as Kindle Fires and Apple iPads and all the accessories for them, Telekin computers, Epson and HP printers and ink cartridges, Apple iPods and accessories, office supplies, wireless keyboards and mice, cellular phones and accessories, different types of media storage, cameras, headphones, power strips and surge protectors, and much, much more. You can also get your very own Valley swag. Our prices are reasonable and comparable to any other retail store. If there is something that you want or need that we do not currently carry, please let us know so that we can check into it for you. We accept all major credit cards, cash or check. Please feel free to stop by our office and check out our new and improved store for all of your technology and day-to-day business needs.
All right, the Groom Bear is cooking nicely and it's starting to get creamy, so we're going to start sauteing our onions. So I've put a couple tablespoons of butter in the pan, and I've chopped up an onion, and it doesn't have to be real fine. And so we'll just let that saute a little bit. I'm going to do one more basting of the poor man's fillets. Okay. Cake is just about done, so we'll be ready to eat in just a few minutes. Now remember, if you would like the recipe, it's on the website. If you don't have internet, just give the girls a call. They'll get the recipe out to you. So we'll be right back and we'll be ready to eat. Okay, we're ready to take the St. Louis gooey butter cake out. Perfect. Looks like this. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to give it another dose of the powdered sugar. Okay, we'll let it cool a little while and then we'll be ready to serve. All right, the Groom Bear is ready, so we're going to take it off the stove. You can see it's got a real nice creamy base to it. Pour it into our serving bowl. Okay. Now I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. It doesn't need a tremendous amount of salt because there was salt in the water already. Got our sauteed onions. We're going to pour those over the top. So it looks like this. And we'll get our fillets out. Okay, now normally I would serve this with something like pickled beets that I made earlier this year, or green beans, something to give your plate just that little added extra color. And of course with German meals, the sweet and sour beets are always a nice compliment. So we have your St. Louis gooey butter cake, your poor man's filet mignon, Grünberger Schnitzel Nifla. So thank you for joining us with this episode of Country Cooking, and we'll see you next time.